Episode 35, Midnight Horror, finally appears. After listening to Ningxi's self-deprecating words just now, Little Bun decisively pulled out a big move. Ningxi was both touched and worried. Lu Tingxiao, Little Bun must have inherited this from you. He's too good at making girls happy. What will happen when he grows up? I can't even imagine what I'd become if he could talk. Especially that last sentence, it really poked into my heart. He actually called me a princess. All along, she wanted to be a fearless queen to face all difficulties without fear. But facing Little Bun's princess, her hidden girlish heart was completely brought out. Which girl wouldn't want to be a carefree princess? She simply had no choice. Looking at his own son, Lu Tingxiao felt emotional. This was not just inheritance, it was surpassing the master. Seeing Little Bun standing there, looking serious and gazing up at him, Ningxi smiled helplessly, then bent down and hugged him. Alright. I know I'm the most beautiful in your eyes. I won't belittle myself anymore, okay? Little Bun was finally satisfied. He imitated what she usually did when rewarding him and lightly kissed her cheek. Ningxi couldn't help but hug Little Bun again and rub him. Oh, what should I do? I really want to sneak you away when your dad's not paying attention. Little Bun blinked, looking very expectant, and nodded in agreement, as if saying, yes, sneak me away quickly. Ningxi, pfft. Lu Tingxiao, why does he feel like he's the third wheel? Meanwhile, in Ning Shuelua's hospital room, the reporters, unable to catch Ningxi, had no choice but to return to continue their interview with Ning Shuelua. Currently, everyone was frantically searching for Ningxi, but she seemed to have vanished from the face of the earth. There was no news about her, and reporters couldn't find her in her apartment, on the set, or at the company. If they knew that Ningxi had lived in the hospital room on the same floor as Ning Shuelua before and had just passed by them, they would probably go crazy. Concerned about Ning Shuelua's health, Su-Han ended the interview after asking a few more questions. Sorry, everyone. Shuelua is still recovering from her injuries and is weak. Let's end today's interview here. Yes, I'm not feeling well. I'm sorry, everyone. Although the reporters were unwilling, they could only express understanding. They wished her a speedy recovery and left. Su-Han politely escorted them out, saying, thank you all for your concern for Shuelua. I believe justice will prevail. You've all worked hard in this hot weather. This is a little reward for your efforts. After saying this, her assistant, Cui Kaijing, began to distribute red envelopes to everyone. The reporters understood the situation. They accepted the red envelopes and expressed their commitment to seeking justice for Ning Shuelua. On the hospital bed, Ning Shuelua seemed puzzled. Brother Han, what happened with those reporters just now? Why did they suddenly leave? Did Ningxi really come? No, they mistook the person. Su-Han covered her with the blanket and looked a bit absent-minded. Most of those reporters had not seen Ningxi in person. But Su-Han was different. He had almost confirmed that the figure he glimpsed just now was indeed Ningxi. However, how was that possible? How could Ningxi be so intimate with a man, with a child by their side? Late at night, at the Lu residence, Ningxi, after reading some entertainment news and preparing to sleep, suddenly received several consecutive messages on MSN. They were from Su-Han. Su-Han, Ningxi, where are you right now? I saw someone at Shuelua's hospital today, not sure if it was you. Su-Han, you've really gone too far with this matter. You can't consume our patients recklessly just because we feel guilty towards you. Su-Han, avoidance won't solve any problems. You owe Shuelua an apology. Ningxi sneered softly, then typed a reply, I bought a watch last year. At this moment, a knock on the door echoed. Come in. Lu Tingxiao pushed the door open, holding a cup of hot milk. Seeing her still at the computer, he frowned. Why are you still up? You need to rest. I was just about to sleep, but I got disgusted right before bedtime, Ningxi complained. Lu Tingxiao walked over, handing her the milk. What happened? Ningxi took the milk, thanked him, and without hesitation, she directly pushed the chat log to him. Lu Tingxiao glanced at it, his expression slightly darkening. Then, he looked at her with a puzzled expression. I bought a watch last year. What does this mean? Hee. Hearing Lu Tingxiao say this sentence so seriously, Ningxi almost sprayed out the milk. Awkwardly, she explained, this is internet slang, a quite classic and straightforward insult. Really? What does it mean? Lu Tingxiao humbly asked. Ningxi had no choice but to start a serious teaching. Lu Tingxiao nodded, instantly grasping the meaning. Ningxi breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the big devil had a high IQ, otherwise, she would feel embarrassed to directly say, "What's yuni ma le gabi?" After seeing Ningxi's reply, Suhan immediately sent many excited messages, basically asking her to seek redemption in the boundless sea of bitterness. Ningxi, pretending not to see it, directly logged out and turned off the computer. Watching Ningxi's clean and disdainful performance, Lu Tingxiao felt quite good. "I've already contacted Ning Xuelua for you." "Really? What did you say?" Ningxi immediately asked. Lu Tingxiao took out his phone, opened an email, and showed it to her. Ningxi hurriedly leaned over to take a look. After reading it, she was speechless. The email Lu Tingxiao sent to the other party only contained a few words, and there were no punctuation marks. 24 hours, 8 million. Truly in the style of Lu Tingxiao. Not bad, not bad. The simpler, the more likely to cause panic. It's excellent. Ningxi nodded approvingly. When the money is received, you can talk to Starlight about terminating the contract to avoid any intentional difficulties. At that time, I'll arrange for a lawyer to accompany you. I've asked Jingli to prepare the contract with Shengshi. I'll show it to you tomorrow morning. If there's anything to modify, we can discuss it later. After signing the contract, Shengshi will hold a press conference at an appropriate time to release the evidence. Then, we'll proceed with legal proceedings. Lu Tingxiao, with a deep and low voice like a cello, calmly explained the next plan and arrangements. Listening to Lu Tingxiao's clear and calm explanation, Ningxi was stunned. She could only nod repeatedly, then subconsciously asked, "Is there anything else I need to do?" "Eat, sleep, and take care of your health." "Oh." Beijing's First People's Hospital. Ning Xuelua lay comfortably on the hospital bed, holding a glass of red wine in one hand and scrolling through Weibo with the other. She was enjoying the unprecedented pleasure of reading all the curses directed at Ningxi. Cui Kaijing massaged her legs while fawningly said, "Sister Xuelua, your legs look so good, long and straight." In fact, her legs were just slightly above average, but she spent hundreds of thousands every year on maintenance and plastic surgery. Can she not look good? Ning Xuelua, however, enjoyed such compliments. She arrogantly said, "This is natural." Constantly feeling uneasy, constantly worried, said, "Xuelua, do you think Ningxi has been absent for so long because she's plotting something against us?" Ning Xuelua scoffed at the suggestion, "You're overestimating her. Even if she slept with someone 100 times, she won't be able to turn the tables on this matter." "You're right. In the entertainment industry, artists with such serious misconduct have consequences no less severe than Jiaqingqing. It won't help even if someone tries to whitewash her." Constantly worrying finally eased. "By the way, I just sent a final ultimatum email to Ningxi, notifying her to come to the company before 6 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Otherwise, we'll blacklist her. I don't believe she won't show up tomorrow. Remember to arrange more reporters to wait for her." Ning Xuelua laughed heartily. Just as she was responding to comments from fans concerned about her injuries, the screen suddenly displayed a new email notification. Who would send her an email at this hour, especially to her personal mailbox? Ning Xuelua didn't pay much attention, casually opened it, and at a glance, she was stunned on the spot, and the red wine in her hand spilled all over her. "Ah, Sister Xuelua, what happened to you?" Cui Kaijing hurriedly grabbed tissues to wipe her. "What's wrong, Xuelua?" Seeing Ning Xuelua's terrified expression, constantly worrying asked suspiciously. "See for yourself." Ning Xuelua shook her hand angrily, tossing her phone onto Cui Kaijing's head. "How can you handle things like this? How can you send that email from my apartment? And didn't I repeatedly tell you to use an anonymous account for the money transfer?" Cui Kaijing was hit on the head, dazed for a long time before finally coming back to her senses. She covered her forehead and looked at the email on the phone, then stayed stunned, her face full of panic. "Sister Xuelua, it's not my fault. I did use an anonymous account. As for the email, you were there when I sent it, and you didn't say anything at that time." Ning Xuelua smashed the wine glass. "Do I have to say everything? What's the use of you if I have to say everything?" After reading the email, constantly worrying's face became serious. "The thing I feared most has happened. I'm afraid if there are any flaws that someone might discover." "Whose email is this? Could it be Zhang Chong?" Ning Xuelua's face was gloomy, and she said with certainty, impossible. Jiong is just a hooligan, barely finished primary school. He doesn't even know what an IP address or an anonymous account is. Then this is really strange. Anyway, except for us, only Jiong knows about this matter. The information must have leaked from Jiong. Could he be colluding with someone? But Jiong disappeared a long time ago, and there's nowhere to ask. Constantly worrying was anxious. Ning Xuelua paced back and forth in the ward. Why talk so much nonsense? The key now is how to solve this matter. Constantly worrying steadied her mind and comforted. Xuelua, calm down. The email demands 8 million to be deposited in that account within 24 hours. It's obviously about money. We can give them the money. As long as it's something that can be solved with money, it's not a problem. Ning Xuelua, annoyed, said, 8 million. Only one day. Where can I get so much cash? Although she earned a lot, she spent even more. Normally, she adorned her appearance, pleased the Ning family and the people in her circle. Was there anything she didn't spend money on? If we gather from various sources, it can be barely put together. Constantly worrying contemplated. She thought the other party was really good at setting the price, conveniently hitting their maximum bearing capacity. At this moment, Ning Xuelua suddenly thought of something. Since the other party can check our information, why can't we? Constantly worrying shook her head. Is it so easy to trace an anonymous account? This requires hacking into the bank system. That's spending money to hire someone. To reach this level of hacker, it's not something that can be found in a short time. Besides, even if we find out who did it, what then? The leverage is in their hands. This money, no matter what, we still have to pay. Damn it. Ning Xuelua glared fiercely at Cui Kaijing, who was hiding in the corner, more harm than good. If it weren't for her holding this person's handle, and using her as relatively reassuring, she would have been kicked out by now. Cui Kaijing wanted to refute but dared not speak out. She really died innocently, didn't she? Ning Xuelua made an effort to recover from the shock and urged, Sister Chang, go raise money for me now. Hurry. Also, hire a few more groups of online trolls. Within a week, make sure Ningxi has no room for a comeback. Xuelua, since we have Zhang Chang's testimony, do you think, should we get her into prison to eliminate the root cause? Constantly worrying tentatively suggested. No, although the Ning family doesn't like her, it's not to the point of sending her to prison. Remember, don't let her terminate the contract. It's better to keep her in the company for a lifetime to repay the debt. Otherwise, if she runs back to the Ning family in desperation, it will be difficult for me to control. Also, in case something unexpected happens tomorrow, I will arrange a competent lawyer for you. Ning Xuelua gave careful instructions one by one, making sure nothing was overlooked before finally feeling at ease. Originally, everything was going smoothly. Unexpectedly, such a big loophole appeared along the way. Fortunately, Sister Chang's words were not wrong. Anything that could be resolved with money was not a problem. Ning Xuelua absolutely would not allow any mistakes from now on. The next day, Ningxi successfully obtained the 8 million. At exactly 6 o'clock in the afternoon, she, accompanied by the lawyer arranged by Lu Tingxiao, went to Starlight Entertainment. This was the time when employees were leaving work. Everyone who saw Ningxi had a shocked expression, then went crazy spreading the news, sending messages and photos to group chats and Weibo. Ningxi, who had disappeared from the public eye, had finally appeared. Oh my god. Ningxi. It's really her. She actually dares to show up. Yes. She's so bold. If it were me, I would have run away directly. Why come back? Yeah, after this incident, she definitely won't be able to survive in the entertainment industry. She might even end up in jail. It's better to run away. Have you seen the man next to her? Looks like an elite. What's his background? Doesn't look like a lover. Could he be an assistant? How is that possible? Even in such a destitute state, can she afford to hire an assistant? Maybe someone slept with a rich benefactor? Hee, I'd really like to see which benefactor has the ability to settle such a big issue for her. Meeting room. Seeing Ningxi's arrival, Changli displayed a triumphant expression as if she had anticipated it. Our esteemed star Ning finally decided to show up. Made me wait so long. Speaking, she glanced strangely at the cold-faced man beside Ningxi. Who's this guy? Don't you know it's not allowed to bring outsiders into the company casually? Ningxi gave her a sidelong glance. He's my lawyer. Oh, there's even a lawyer. Changli treated it as if Ningxi had casually brought him to boost her presence, disdainfully snorting. At this point, you're still acting tough with me. Do you know how big a mess you've made this time? If it weren't for me pleading with the company for you 2 or 3 times, you'd have been blacklisted by now. Ningxi raised an eyebrow, chuckled lightly, and asked, "Oh, you pleaded for me? So, Sister Chang, what was the result of your plea?" Changli tossed her a prepared statement. "Next, the company will hold a press conference. As long as you publicly apologize at the conference, voluntarily withdraw from the world drama, Snow Lord has a lot of room not to sue you extensively, giving you a chance to reform yourself. However, for an artist with your morally corrupt character, consider me vouching for you, it's doubtful any crew would dare to use you." After hitting Ningxi with one blow, Changli threw her a piece of candy and wore a solemn expression as she continued, "However, don't be disheartened. If you sincerely repent, the company won't abandon you. You should know that some directors don't care about scandals. Look, I've just arranged another film for you. As long as you do well, there's still a chance for you to make a comeback." Ningxi looked at her with a half-smile and a half-serious tone. "A major production? I wonder which major production Sister Chang arranged for me." Seeing Ningxi interested, Changli sneered, then said, "Are you afraid I'm trying to trick you? Have you heard of Laughing Spring Wind?" Ningxi tapped her fingers on the armrest absent-mindedly. "Directed by Jiong Pinghai?" "Exactly. It's Jiong Pinghai. You know, any movie he makes is a big hit. When he was filming in Hong Kong, Guo Qixing didn't even know where he was." Listening to Changli praising Jiong Pinghai in a serious manner, Ningxi almost burst into laughter. Then her eyes suddenly narrowed. "Sister Chang, are you trying to make me sell myself? No need to be so indirect. Jiong Pinghai started his career with adult films, and even after whitewashing, he was still not entirely clean. The most criticized aspect was his character. This guy was extremely lecherous, having slept with almost all the female actresses in his crew. Last year, he nearly got sued for having a relationship with a minor. It was really hard for these actresses. They went to great lengths to pick this big movie for her, and they chose a director like this." Changli frowned upon hearing this. "What do you mean by selling yourself? Isn't it broad enough? How about you? Don't you want to take the role? Do you know how much damage you've caused to the company this time? If you can't take on a role, are you planning to let us feed idle people?" "Sorry, I'm not taking this role." Ningxi couldn't be bothered to continue listening to her lowering the bar further and directly refused. Changli exploded on the spot, slamming the table. "Ningxi, if you don't listen to arrangements 3 times, do you still consider me your manager? Let me tell you, you have to take Zhang's role, whether you like it or not." "Manager?" Ningxi sneered. "I'm afraid not for much longer." "Hee, you want to change your manager? It depends on whether anyone in Starlight dares to take you," Changli said arrogantly. "I want to change the company."